TED.
Well, what do you say, Ian? Should we jump
Let's jump
into
into Hut Sports Chatter, crack home run, bases loaded.
Swoosh, Nike.
Okay.
Cliff Avril.
Yeah.
Go.
Okay. Yeah. So, starting things off with a little bit of a bummer, but not necessarily a surprise. Cliff Avril penned his heartfelt goodbye to Seattle in the Players Tribune. What was this, like 2 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
It's titled "Thank You, Seattle." Aaron, I saw you reading through it less than an hour ago. I haven't read it in a while. You want to give us a quick little summary?
Pisses me off that it's spelled link, as in the clink in there, but as you mentioned, it's probably an editor saying, I don't know anything about football. I think it's Seattle.
So to give you an idea of what Aaron's saying is CenturyLink is called the clink in slang, and it was written the link in
his
article.
Big heartfelt.
So I'd say it's 10% likely that the editor was dumb enough to edit that.
Yeah.
I have heard people call it the link, man.
Who fucking calls it
It's called
that?
CenturyLink.
Yeah, the clink, as in jail, a fortress, or no, I don't know. I'm just kind of joking a little bit, but while reading it, it was just like, oh, this is nice, and then wait, you didn't get our house right, but whatever. No, I thought, as I do with every Players Tribune article, that wow, all athletes are well versed and they're really good authors.
Yeah,
and they have they speak better English than I do.
Oh yeah.
But obviously, there's some things I haven't unpacked in there. But I thought it was, I don't know, I liked it a lot.
I like this first paragraph. I'm just gonna read it. So it was 9 a.m.
The whole paragraph.
I'm gonna read about 4 sentences.
Oh, okay, I can handle that.
So it was about 9 a.m. and we were on the team plane, sitting on the tarmac at Newark Airport. My hood, for all those who care. After we beat the Broncos in Super Bowl 42 or
48.
No, 48. Wow. The night before, we turned italics all the way up. Me, Mike B, and the rest of the D-line.
All the italics were turned up.
Yes. Me, Mike B, and the rest of the D-line and popped some champagne and went to the team party for a few minutes. That's like dropping in on your parents' party that they're having for you for your high school graduation.
Yeah,
so you can go
want to go to Steve's,
drop a bunch of XC on your eyeballs and go have sex with a hole in the ground when you're 19.
Sounds like Ian's got a story for us later.
Yeah.
You graduated high school.
They don't call me Dirt Penis for nothing. Right?
Dirt Penis Turner graduated high school at 19, and his parents still threw him a party.
Anyway, well, I did graduate college at 26, so anyway.
Your second college, third technically,
fourth.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then we hit the clubs in New York City and just partied until they stopped serving drinks, which is not that impressive. Partied longer than that, Cliff.
Yeah. Well, did you read the rest? And then we sprinted to QFC before.
And then we sprinted to QFC, got a bunch of beer, and invited everybody that we had seen from there to our apartment back. And they got on a plane and kept partying. Okay, so very, very cool.
They partied after the Super Bowl.
One thing, and this kind of goes into the L.O.B. kind of postmortem.
Mm-hmm.
But, people talk about, the L.O.B., they're falling apart. It was, the mainstream narrative with us is that we lost the second Super Bowl. But, how many teams do get brought up with a breath of reverence that only won one Super Bowl? I think that as time goes on, we dismantled one of the best offenses in NFL history.
The best.
Yeah. Is it statistically in history?
Yep.
Yeah, we dismantled them. And actually, my favorite Cliff Avril memory is not necessarily a specific play. It was that first play of that Super Bowl, and I was nervous. I was like, man, what is going to happen?
You mean the snap?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Cliff didn't really do anything. It was a bad snap, but there was so many Seahawks fans in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And
You
so
hear
it
it?
becomes a safety.
What if the Super Bowl was in a safe? Just make it happen.
That'd be really exciting, actually.
It'd
Just
be
you had to run through
tough
the aisles.
seats to get.
I still think, and I continue to vote for this, I think every field should be like a different map of Super Smash Brothers. I think like there should be trees and hills and holes. Like, oh, you go to Carolina, there's the Panther hole at the 43-yard line.
Die.
No, we wouldn't actually have Panthers in it. Have pillows.
No, even trees. Can you imagine running full speed trying to catch something in a fucking tree? You run into.
What if you just had
pretty much did that?
What if you just had wacky
Beginning
waving
NFL.
inflatable arm flailing tube men?
They have no legs. So it'd be really entertaining for like 12 seconds.
And then, or you go to Pittsburgh or Cincinnati, and like you remember those like new things that they use in practice. Those like quick moving like black dildos. Do you not know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Just like, here comes the 13th minute of the third quarter. You know what happens here in Cincinnati? The giant black dildos come out for the next 3 plays.
Like a mixture of Crossfire and American Gladiators.
It's like the coach is like, we gotta make sure we're off the field by the time the black dildos come out.
Get a high score and get a black dildo coming
You know, when you're playing Cincinnati, it's tough because you got them black dildos at 3 o'clock. If you're playing at 3 o'clock, so help you God.
Yeah.
You know, we drafted this quarterback. He's always got good vision, and he's got experience against the dildos.
He's really good out under pressure with the dildo coming at him.
So, what the fuck was I talking about?
So L.O.B. era.
It just annoys me, like, because we're not a marquee franchise in the American narrative. Like, I think we're an amazing franchise.
Yeah.
In the context of the NFL, we sell out our seats. We're well ran. We win. But like we're not the Dallas Cowboys. Even the Dallas Cowboys can be 7-9, and they're in every daily talk show. Like,
well, why is that? That's history, right?
Yeah, in a way.
I mean, Green Bay Packers are in that category, right? The Giants are.
No, you're right.
in
You're
that
right. You're right.
category.
Right. But yes, you're right.
I mean, I give the Packers as an example of no market.
Yeah.
Medium market. However, it's the Green Bay Packers.
Well, I
Everyone
think
knows
right
that.
now it's because well, they've just been fortunate to go from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers. They would not be
I mean, dude, they.
Well, yeah, them too. But like but I'm just saying, like in this age of media, they've stayed in the limelight because there are still the Chicago Bears are a storied franchise, and no one talks about them.
I don't know if there's that story.
I'm just
85
saying-
Bears was absolutely dominant.
I'm gonna say
And
like
they're
the
still
one
right
Tom
now.
Brady leaves the Patriots, no one's gonna talk about the Patriots.
Well, that's a tough prediction. I mean,
Anyway, so so back to what I was saying. So my favorite memory is just the end zone camera showed Cliff run after the ball, and it went out of bounds. He just screams into the stands, and I was like, oh man, like it is on.
Yeah.
And I was still so nervous about it. I blacked the F out of that.
Yeah.
After that game.
How many things did you lose that night after
I lost my ID, my debit card, both my shoes, and I woke up like my tongue was black because I had bitten it, and it was so much blood. Oh, and I had a receipt from a cab in my not a receipt, you owe me money, I'm very mad at you card.
Because you were refusing to pay.
Well, I think a cab just came by, and like it's weird to think, but this was like before Uber, in 2013.
Oh yeah.
And I just got in. I was like, I'm going home.
And he took you home.
Took
and
me
you
home.
realized you
Granted, he
weren't
took me home
wearing
like
shoes or-
3 blocks, and like I get home, and like coincidentally, 2 of my other friends were walking by outside my apartment. And they saw me just
Zach, right?
Yeah, and Corey, and I'm yelling at this cab driver, and he's like, "You gotta pay me." And I'm like, I don't know. I couldn't tell you what I was saying, but
Absolutely not, sir.
And then he looked at Zach and Corey, and he said, "You need to pay for this man," and they wouldn't do it. So anyway,
Of course they did.
Will, my roommate was like, his story, the way he recounts the story is, "Hey, Ian, how's the Super Bowl? I got fucked up, passed out, and yeah, it was bad." So yeah, that was just. I was still nervous about that game, just given they remind me of watching the Warriors. Like any second, no lead is safe with those guys.
Yeah.
And then I was still nervous even when halftime came around. And then when Percy Harvin returned it, I was like, we win.
Which, by the way, quick, even though we're not really reviewing the Super Bowl, I love Percy Harvin, whatever. I love that he caught the ball on a bounce and got it at the 12-yard line.
Yep.
And it took him
Yep.
12 seconds.
Russell
to
Wilson
get
had 206 pass yards.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Man.
Everyone remembers the little things about the Super Bowl. We won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And you know what? Not a lot of teams can say that.
Well, and I think all of it's Pete Carroll and John Schneider.
And John Schneider.
With the
And Russell
championship
Wilson.
mentality. And definitely Russell Wilson. He's quarterback. But LOB era, it's not the
let's
cornerback.
talk. Okay,
it's
actually,
not the defensive back.
So let's actually make that. Let's just. Okay, so. Yeah. Bye, Cliff. We love you.
By the way, was released, failed.
Yeah, he failed the physical. I mean, hey man, I hope you seem like you have a really great head on your shoulders. You got an entrepreneurial mind.
Odd thing to say with someone.
Yeah, you have a slightly
your neck doesn't work.
Head on.
You have a great head.
Yeah, your head's great. Keep doing your work with Haiti. We'll keep sending them the shirts of all the losers. And that was kind of mean. But I like you.
Yeah.
So
bye, Cliff.
Bye. Yes.
Came in with Michael Bennett and left with Michael Bennett.
You might say he fell off a cliff. He's like Aaron's like weighing my pun like a bad wine.
Yeah. Now then I started thinking like, what if an Avril fell on his head like a Looney Tune? But no, great career. Shitty team that he started with, the Detroit Lions, but ended on a phenomenal team with phenomenal stories, and he was crucial on that defense. He was great. And
we'll miss you.
Yeah, and defensive line correlates directly to the LOB. And that's what made LOB the LOB. I mean, if we couldn't get to the quarterback and disrupt things as quickly as we did, it wasn't so much the sacks, but just the pocket pressure that allowed. And then you had Earl Thomas, who we still have, who just took over left, right, center of the field, and Richard Sherman was a product probably, and we'll find out this year.
We'll find out. Well, I don't think you'll be able to
Eric
say
Reed's
for
pretty
sure.
Badass.
Yeah, Eric Reed is pretty badass, but Eric Reed's a free agent, so who knows what he's going to do?
Oh, that's true.
Because there's all that stuff about the kneeling and no one's giving him an interview, which I don't want to get into. But
will you lock arms and join the Seahawks?
Yeah, seriously, I'd take him.
Yeah, right.
He's a big guy. He could be Cam Chancellor.
No, yeah. Give Trey Flowers a.
Well, so I want to say this about Legion of Boom. Like, I think under the Pete Carroll regime, I think there'll always be a Legion of Boom like mentality. Like, even if Earl Thomas leaves, I think like I would want Shaq Griffin to like say LOB.
Oh, we're gonna
2.0. Yeah. Let the guy like. I think that you should always have that mentality. I think that was so cool. But that being said, I think it's safe to say that era is over. Like, of those three main guys. You still got Earl, but Richard, Cam, and Earl together.
So, question.
Yeah.
Is Legion of Boom those specific players? Or,
to me, they are.
Or the attitude of our defensive backs?
Well,
we've gone through different defensive coordinators.
Oh, I never thought it was a defensive coordinator.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing changes. So now it's really let's. 90% chance. I don't think Cam's coming back.
No.
I'd
give him
job. Money, the reason we haven't heard anything is money is guaranteed at this point for him, regardless if he plays or if he retires.
If he retires and we give him the money, is it go against our salary cap?
So I think if you're not on the active roster, then you might be, you're guaranteeing him money, but if you're not on the active roster, it's not against your cap.
Because you can pay someone and it's not against the cap. I know there's ways to do it.
Yeah.
So.
Like Malik McDowell probably wasn't on our cap. Yeah. I don't know. Either way, I wouldn't be surprised if Cam Chancellor doesn't come back. Yeah. I would love for him to come back, but only if he actually plays like Cam Chancellor. But that guy hits things so hard that his body's just falling apart.
Yeah, Cam.
And God bless him, man. He was literally killer for us.
Yeah.
Too many broken bodies that he's blown through. And so, but I think with just Earl Thomas, you think LOB's over. It's a new iteration of it.
I think that LOB will always be a Seahawks thing. But I think that this generation, I think you can now, I think next season is the start of something different and new. And I think you can actually I think it's time to, reflect on it's not like this story's continuing. I think we can now close the book on this chapter in the Seahawks defense LOB era. And I think it's worth looking back and.
We'll call it episode 1.
The Phantom Legion of Boom. So, favorite moment from the LOB?
Every Cam Chancellor hit. Every single one. Every single one.
Never.
Richard Sherman's great. The immaculate deflection's awesome. That got us to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But Again,
Some of
that was
Cam's
the first
hits.
one.
Oh my God! Remember
No.
that one against Frank Gore?
Yeah, Frank Gore.
No, it was Vernon Davis. Was it Frank Gore? The one he got
definitely Vernon Davis by
the one he got knocked out of bounds.
Yeah, and that was actually a flag.
We were at that game.
That was a flag, and then it turned out to be a video representation, like an education video of how to hit properly if you're going to hit hard. Because they got a flag because the ref was like, that guy died. That's a foul. That's a flag, man.
It must be.
That guy's actually dead.
Yeah.
His arms are like kinked, and like, no, when you rewatch it, it's a perfect hit.
Yeah.
Timed it perfectly, right angle, hit him
Right in the
square in the
chest.
sternum with his shoulder. It was wonderful.
Has anyone ever gotten a comment from... I'm sorry, did you say it was Vernon Davis? Or
Yeah,
was it?
definitely Vernon Davis, because
So-
he did it again the next year.
And did anyone ever get a comment from him about that?
Oh, I'm sure there's plenty. Vernon Davis has said plenty of shit. He's
He talks.
a loudmouth, but like a funny,
No,
like,
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like Von Miller. He's like, oh, I'm
He
kind of
looks like
quirky.
Von Miller.
Yeah, there's this
Yeah.
quirky big teeth guy.
Yeah.
Brandon Marshall, Von Miller, and Vernon
Yeah,
Davis should
yeah.
all go hang out and go nuts together.
Speaking of Brandon Marshall. Oh, you're talking about Brandon Marshall with the Broncos or the receiver?
Talking about the receiver, Brandon Marshall.
Oh, yeah. But did you hear that he tried out with us? We obviously didn't sign
I
him.
don't give a shit if he did. I didn't know he did, but I don't.
He did.
I don't want him.
I don't want him either.
I'm happy. I'm happy with what we got because it's always like
I saw
they're
articles.
probably gonna be a star.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that's a great answer. Every Cam Chancellor hit. I think that really personified, Earl with his tenacity and never giving up and those hits on even
Earl after a play is almost equal to
Amazing.
Cam during
Yeah.
a hit because
You look
Earl
back
freaking
yeah.
out every
Oh,
time he does something.
I love when he
like,
sits there and has like yeah.
Like gets so hyped,
Yeah.
or just like walks away, just like steam coming off of him. Like
Yeah.
I just did that.
Earl
like,
comes in,
ah.
yeah. Oh, actually, okay, this is my second favorite, but I'm going to say my favorite in a second. My second favorite is when he took Rob Gronkowski out of...
Punctured his lungs
Yeah.
and no longer in this
Good
season.
Lord. And that was a legal hit, too.
Mm-hmm.
It just...
Yeah, we
the
mentioned
force
that.
of his face.
Previous episode, yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool.
The
So my
force of his
favorite
face.
L.O.B. play, and it's actually not defense, it was just... I associate L.O.B. with this 2011
Yeah,
till
the
now
LB play.
era.
Yeah.
So we were at this game, and it was in a we have arrived moment. So the previous year, the 49ers had gone to the Super Bowl and lost to the Ravens.
Mhm.
So, but they were the cream of the crop in the NFC
The
West.
2013 season.
Yeah, and so we had games to the we had games. We had tickets to the 49ers that night, and it was moved. And this was not like this was not this is the year I think we won the Super Bowl. It was. Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
2013
And so,
season.
yes. And so, the 49ers and the Seahawks weren't a rivalry yet. Like, we were never like the Sunday night game. But towards the end of the season, if a game looks particularly good,
Mhm.
they will move it to Sunday night.
The flex
They will
sketch.
move it to Sunday night. And that's what happened with us. So, it was we need to win this game. We need to make a statement. We crushed them that game. And
That was like a 43-9 game. Or
dude,
something
remember?
like
Yeah,
that.
they got one touchdown like in garbage time. So my favorite memory is the blocked punt by Red Bryant, where Richard Sherman returns it for a
Vaguely.
touchdown.
Vaguely.
Well, we're at the game, and
Yeah, that's why it's
you
big.
can see the there. You'll recognize the play. It's like always in a Seahawks highlight. Sherman, he's got shorter dreads, and he's running through the end zone. His arms are out like
Oh yeah,
this.
yeah.
And I'll never forget that. And we kicked their ass, and we were Big Brother from there until they haven't proved it yet.
No,
We're still
they've,
Big Brother.
they've only Benjamin Button.
Yeah, so they've been going downhill.
since
All they've really
2012.
had to be in the news is all that controversy. So I'm glad I'm a Seahawks fan. And
Damn straight.
like you said, I'd love to get Eric Reed.
Yeah. Strap arms with us, guy. Cool. I'm Seahawked out, honestly.
I'll never be Seahawked out.
Well, not my life. No, like right now. I mean, that's big news. Cliff Avril. But
Love
they've been doing the voluntary OTAs. A lot of rookies and Russell
Right.
Wilson and his
Yeah.
babies. But
Russ Wilson's been making a lot of appearances at some baseball games, namely Baby Future's baseball games.
Hmm?
He goes to Future's his stepson, who's the son of Future, the rapper.
I'm not your rapper's favorite rapper. I don't know who that is.
Yes, you do.
I know Pearl Jam.
You don't know who Future is.
No, I don't.
Seriously?
I know
Like,
Pearl Jam.
Molly
Depeche Mode.
Percocet. Molly Percocet.
Ah,
that
yeah,
song.
okay.
That's Sierra's baby daddy.
Oh.
Do you remember
And then Russell Wilson.
when we went to Atlanta, there was like pictures of Future everywhere on like heckling posters when we played Atlanta in the playoffs 2 years ago.
Oh. I just didn't connect
How did I
the
not
dots.
comment that? Okay.
I don't know.
Well, I'd rather have Russell Wilson
The
than my
Smiths.
dad. Unless I needed to get weed.
Yeah, no.
Actually, I don't even need it anymore because Russell Wilson lives in a place where it's legal.
Well, then you could just call your weird Uncle Future and get your Percocet.
My weird dad Future.
Yeah, let's close out the Seahawks. Unless you got any final things to say.
Yeah, if I could give this era of Seahawks grade, I'd say an A. A super A. For super awesome.
Okay, I thought I was like missing something. And they're like, no, I'm just being simply silly.
Yeah.
Oh, philanthropy. All right, Ian. Well, let's close out the Seahawks now, and I have nothing quippy or funny to say.
Boobs.
Boobs and butts. And penises.
And voices.
And voices. Hello.
Hello. Yes. Here in the studio.
Just here we are. Working hard. Recording sound.
Yeah.
All of you.
It's, there was a text message sent and it has to be read loudly. That's what's going on in the other room.
Pretty much.
Are we still recording?
Yeah.
Cool.
Nah.
Sweet.
We're real guys. Yeah. None of you have paid us anything yet. So once you do, we can tell them to shut the fuck up.
It'll be great.
Because we are professional podcasters.
Yeah.
Right now, we just actually are wearing the same color shirt.
We are.
That's pretty much all we are. Go Seahawks.
Yeah. I'm proud of my bookshelf.
Bye-bye. T.
Hi.
P. Determined.
Yeah.